Hello, everyone.
Hello. We got a lot of people in the comments. Hi, Michael.
Happy Sunday, everyone. If you don't recognize me, it's been a little while. Hi, I'm Seth,
I'm Carly.
and I'm so glad to be back. It's been a while. I missed everyone. Let's see who we've got in the comments before we get started. Hi, Michael. Still processing. Okay, we have got to have a little spoiler warning or spoiler alert because I have only watched episode 1. I have not watched episode 2. So please don't spoil it for me. I'm
I
I'm gonna
haven't
try to
watched
watch
any
tonight.
TV in weeks, so
Okay, so we're both behind. I still got Star Trek, Strange New Worlds to catch up on. I'm way behind.
and
Hey,
Stranger Things came out.
hello. Oh, Stranger Things also. Oh, why does all this stuff have to come out at the same time? Blossom, Terry, hello. Good to see you again. Mr. Weiser, thank you for welcoming me back. I really appreciate it.
Yes, you were
Um,
missed. Although Matt was
aw,
great.
Matt's always great, of course,
Yes,
of course.
and he's in Disney.
He's the
So I'm
boss for a
jealous.
reason. He's been traveling a lot too.
Yes, he's at Star
Um,
Wars Celebration.
yeah. And we've got Brian in the chat. Thank you,
Hey,
Brian. Brian was just reading an article that Jon Favreau is already working on Mando season 4 in develop. I'm sure they are developing Mando season 72 by now. Like they're making so much money off of that.
Brian. Oh
So,
yeah.
Michael, yeah, Michael, no problem. It's okay. You didn't spoil anything yet. Um, all right. Well, we got 15 or so people. Oh, and one last person,
Oh,
Eric. Hello, Eric. He is out. He's been giving me some good info. He got to go to a reopening night of Phantasmic last night, and got to check out that crazy situation. No virtual queue for Phantasmic right now. They're only doing standby, and people were lining up hours ahead of time. It's
wild.
kind of nuts. Yeah. And Brian, is this the way? We're talking Obi-Wan, not well, we might be talking a little Mandalorian later. So yes, this is the way.
Yes,
It is always the way. All right. Enough chatting. I say that we should just go ahead and do this thing.
let's do it.
All right. In 3, 2, and 1.
Please lower your head and watch your step while boarding.
Welcome to the Attractions Podcast. You are all clear for dispatch. Have fun.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to episode 141 of the Attractions Podcast, sponsored by Destinations with Character Travel. I'm Seth,
And I'm Carly.
and we are both here to talk to you about the latest and greatest in theme park news and more, as well as what's going on in our own lives. It's been a while. I've been away for a while. I've missed you, Carly. What have
I've
you been
missed
up
you
to?
too. I have spent the last 3 days at Soundwaves, which is an indoor luxury water park connected to the Gaylord Resort in Nashville. So it's amazing, multi-level water park, indoor, outdoor.
Mhm.
So cool.
So this
So
is
cool.
like sort of similar to like maybe a Great Wolf Lodge, but high end, right?
Yeah, definitely high end, super modern feel, beautiful just visually, aesthetically. And if you're looking for like a quickie couple days to do a short trip, this would be perfect. In 3 days, we never left the resort because you have
Wow.
everything there. So I'm sure you've been
Wow.
to Gaylord Palms. Very similar
Absolutely.
with the
Gorgeous,
different
gorgeous place.
atriums. Yeah,
Mhm,
it's beautiful. And we had a room overlooking, had the balcony on it, so you look out at
mm,
everything. And so if you're looking for like a quickie trip, theme park adjacent, because it's a water park,
sure.
I would highly recommend doing that. I do miss Opryland USA, so I
Mm.
still wish the theme park was there.
Uh,
But the water park is fantastic.
that sounds amazing. I am very jealous. It sounds like kind of like a cruise ship on land.
Yes,
I
exactly,
know I
which is
could.
better for me.
No motion sickness
No,
from the boat.
not this time. And you've been in kind of a hole.
Well, yeah, I apologize. I missed everyone the last couple of weeks, but this is the biggest month of year for me outside of theme park world. When I dive back into theater world, which is my first love, and I'm a critic for the Orlando Weekly newspaper, and I cover the Orlando International Fringe Theater Festival. This year was the first annual festival, and it is the largest festival of its kind in all of North America, and the largest and oldest of its kind in the United States of America. There's some bigger, older ones in Canada, but some performers from all over the world. I have so far seen about 83 shows in the last week and a half. So I am a little brain fried, but specifically for theme park fans, I want to give shout outs to 2 shows that were amazing. And if you're in the Orlando area, or these are good enough, they might even go on tour. So keep an eye out. One is called Star Shanties, which is folk songs about Star Wars. And they are amazing songs, incredible harmonies, amazing singers, and they are all dressed in costumes that like stepped right out of Batuu. The jokes, if you know Star Wars like deep cuts, you were gonna love it. And it was even emotional. They do this song about the destruction of Alderaan that almost made me cry. I mean, amazing. And another
cool.
Another great one for theme park fans to look out for. This one's also a bit of a tearjerker. It's called Constellations. It's a 2-character drama, but it starred Mike Carr and his wife, Julie Carr. And if you have watched The Ride Guys, the official video blog from Universal Orlando about their rides, you know Mike Carr because he is one of the 2 ride guys. So if you know him from watching his theme park stuff, see a totally different side of him in this show. So I give both of those shows thumbs up.
Yes, because he's like an improv comedy guy.
He is, and this is a heavy dramatic piece with him and his wife. Bring your tissues, but great work, and it shows how amazingly talented. A lot of the shows this year have people who you would recognize from the theme parks, and they're just so amazingly talented. They can do so much more than you see them do in the parks. So now that we have gotten all of that out of the way, we've got some news in the queue, so let's do it. First up this week, Universal Studios in Singapore has finally broken ground on their Minion Land. We've been talking about this for a little while. They announced this a few years back before the pandemic, but now they have broken ground, and Illumination's Minions will be coming to life at the Singapore park in 2024.
Right. This looks absolutely amazing. And they had a really cool groundbreaking ceremony at Resorts World Sentosa. It was attended by the Minister of State for Trade and Industry, along with the CEO. And obviously there were some adorable minions in attendance for that. So the new themed area is going to have shops, restaurants, rides, including the world's first original ride exclusive to Universal Studios Singapore, as well as the fan favorite motion simulator 3D Despicable Me Minion Mayhem, which we all know from Universal Orlando. So this is really cool.
Yeah, for the most part, Singapore has a lot of attractions that were cloned from earlier Universal parks. I think about one of the few totally original rides they had was that Steven Spielberg special effects show, and that was now cloned in Beijing. So other than their Shrek roller coaster, I don't know if they have a lot that's original, but they are going to be getting a new exclusive ride. I believe it's a flat ride. Spinner type thing themed to the Minions. But what I thought was really interesting from this announcement, it mentions the Despicable Minion, try this again. Despicable Me Minion Mayhem simulator ride as being a 3D simulator ride. Now, it was originally 3D when it opened here in Florida and in Hollywood, but we lost the 3D quite a while ago. And so I'm curious to see if they're going to try putting the 3D back, or if it's going to be from the concept art, it originally looked a little more similar to the version they have in Japan, which uses a dome system that does not use 3D. So I guess we're going to have to take a trip to Singapore to see for ourselves if the 3D is back out there.
I'm ready. And then they currently now are, if you want to get all ready for this new land, they have launched Groovy Summer Extravaganza, which is in celebration of Minions 2, The Rise of Gru. And that's taking place now through August 14th. And it's kind of a throwback where you go back to the 70s when the movie takes place. Ice, and you can snap selfies with the Minions, meet Otto, the newest Minion, and this looks like a lot of fun. It's a good way to kind of get hyped up because, again, that new land isn't coming till 2024, so you have a bit of time.
Yeah, you got a little time to plan that trip with Destinations with Character Travel. And I love this this groovy summer thing. I hope something similar to that comes to Universal Studios Florida.
And the bounding over there is amazing. If you've ever looked at pictures of guests, they do the overall. I mean, it looks a lot of like the street characters that they have seen the parade. The overalls with the yellow.
R.I.P. parade.
Yes, I know. R.I.P. I would love to go there.
Yep. Next up, the momentous Nighttime Spectacular is debuting in mid-June of 2022 at Hong Kong Disneyland. It's going to light up the sky over Hong Kong Disneyland with a brand new nighttime show that involves fireworks, fountains, and for the first time ever at Hong Kong Disneyland, projection mapping on their castle.
Yeah, this is amazing. I mean, obviously we're so used to projection mapping, but it really is special. I mean, even if you've seen it 100 times, there's nothing like it. And the way that that castle literally comes to life. So it's exciting that they're getting it for the first time.
Yeah. And this is, of course, the recently rebuilt Hong Kong castle. Originally, Hong Kong's castle was very meep, like Sleeping Beauty Castle in California. But now it has been supersized, making a big backdrop for those projections. This new show is going to celebrate Disney characters, up to 150 of them featured, from 40 films. There are 6 chapters and a big finale. And there is an original soundtrack with a new anthem called Love the Memory, which I'm sure will be stuck in your head forever after seeing this show.
Yes. And there's also, if you want to do some add-ons, just like at, Magic Kingdom, there's a new pre-show dessert party, which I think is really cool. I love the dessert party. It is a great way to relax, unwind after a long day, and just kind of get ready for the fireworks. And then there's going to be souvenirs exclusive to the show, including light up merchandise and t-shirts with reflective color effects. And of course, there's going to be specialty food.
Yes, this being an Asian park, they have absolutely gorgeous food that looks too cute to eat.
Yes. It is very kawaii.
Yes, absolutely. So if you want more information about all this going on, go check out HongKongDisneyland.com. Next up in international Disney park news, Marvel Avengers Campus is officially opening at Disneyland Paris on July 20th, 2022. This is the biggest expansion to Walt Disney Studios since that park opened. And you're going to get to experience the universe of Earth's mightiest heroes, kind of similar to the Avengers Campus that we have in Anaheim, but it does have some unique features.
Yes, particularly for me, I was excited about Pym Kitchen. So they are doing some similar foods to us, but I think it's even kind of kicked up a notch. So if you're familiar with Disneyland's $100 sandwich, theirs is going to be on a gigantic pretzel. And it looks amazing. They released pictures of it. And of course, there's, hot dogs, burgers, and then they're going to have drinks in little test tubes. It's really cool what they're doing over there with the food.
Yeah. And to be honest, anything they do over there with the food will be an improvement. On my visit to that park, the Ratatouille restaurant was wonderful, but I ate in the restaurant that has been converted into the quick service Stark Factory, where they're going to have homemade pizza, and anything that they put in there will be an improvement over what formerly was.
I totally agree. My last visit luckily fell during Christmas, and that is really good because they have the holiday markets with the festival, and they do some really good seasonal kind of like desserts. Those are really good, but any other visit, the food is very lackluster. Yeah. There at Disney Village, everywhere. So this is definitely going to be exciting, especially in Studio Park, because that
it needs it.
They need something. They need something. So this is really cool.
Absolutely. Well, once you get past the food, there are some attractions here. There is a clone of the Spider-Man web ride. It's called Web Slingers in California, but in Paris, it's going to be called Spider-Man Web Adventure. But it's basically the exact same ride. But they also have something called Avengers Assemble Flight Force, which I believe is Disney's first roller coaster featuring the Avengers characters. It is not a ground up roller coaster. However, it is a retheme of the Rock and Roller Coaster. So goodbye, Aerosmith. Hello, Captain Marvel and Iron Man. I think the neatest thing about this, other than the fact that they got Brie Larson back to film footage for the show for the attraction, is that they actually have an animatronic of Iron Man's Mark 80 armor in the pre-show, which is one more animatronic than we got at Cosmic Rewind.
Ding, ding, ding. And I think they put out a TikTok where you can actually see a little bit of the clip of that so far.
Yes.
And it looks amazing.
Yeah. So, and then, of course, in addition to that, you're going to be able to interact with Marvel characters. There is a Dora Milaje training show, very similar to the one is in Anaheim. Also a dance-off with Star-Lord and Gamora. And one additional thing that is new and exclusive is a training session with Spider-Man, Iron Man, or Captain Marvel. It's a kind of a beefed up photo op, and you will get a freeze frame video that looks kind of like a Matrix bullet time video using 27 cameras to capture you and your family in action with a superhero.
This is going to be really cool. I'm curious. I don't believe they said it's not going to cost anything, right? Because I know you can make it through the app, and I guess it's if you purchase PhotoPass.
Yeah, I'm not sure exactly what the pricing structure is for the PhotoPass service out in Paris, but it's something that you're going to be able to book in advance through the Disneyland Paris mobile app, and that'll give you the information on any costs involved.
Very cool.
Yep,
Yeah,
lot of stuff going on. Definitely makes me want to take another trip out there.
Yes, me too. And it falls around my birthday, so I've already been kind of looking at flights. So if the stars align, I'd love to be there.
Fingers crossed. That would be awesome. So while we were talking, about Marvel in Disney theme parks, Guardians of the Galaxy Cosmic Rewind is now officially opened as of May 27th, which was 2 days previous to us recording this. The ride is officially open to all guests who are lucky enough to get a virtual queue pass or buy a lightning lane. We've talked a lot about this family-friendly thrill coaster. It was announced back in 2020. And it is finally here. We've both been on it, and I think we both love it. Definitely my favorite new addition to Epcot in many, many years. And the other thing is that the shop, which was not open for me during the previews. I don't know if you got a chance to go
I
inside
did
that.
get to go in there, and it's awesome.
Yeah. So that was one thing I missed out on during previews. I know the first day they were so overwhelmed that they basically stopped letting people in the store. But I know pretty much everything from that store is also available in the Creations shop right nearby. So if you can get into the Treasures of Xandar store to check out some of the merchandise that they have, go check out the Creations shop.
Yes, it is very small. It's actually much smaller than I had anticipated it to be. It's honestly the size of like a large living room. It's tiny.
From the location of it, it almost looks like, well, no, it's on the wrong side. I was thinking that it might have been the lounge, the VIP lounge that was originally in there for Exxon executives back when it was Universe of Energy.
Yeah.
But I really I don't know the old layout well enough to say that.
Yes, and I'm sure the hype will die down in a few weeks. You should be able to get into the shop, I would say, probably in a couple weeks.
Well, speaking of hype, I know for the first couple days, all of those free virtual queue passes were snapped up in seconds. I'm hoping that they maybe start distributing more and more of those, because from the reports I saw, especially since there is that pre-show that sort of paces people, they were dispatching empty trains because, especially early in the morning, not having a standby line, people just there weren't enough bodies to keep the trains filled. So hopefully, operations-wise, they can fix that, because that attraction can push over 2,000 guests an hour, and I'd like that as many people to be able to experience it as possible.
Yes,
So
I can't wait to go on it again. It's definitely my favorite edition in a very,
Mhm.
very long time.
Wish me luck getting a virtual queue
Yes.
on Tuesday morning.
You'll have to report back
Yeah.
because I've been seeing that. So it says you have to be, the second queue opens at 1 p.m.
1,
It
and you
says
must
that
be
you
in the
have to
park.
be inside. So
Mhm.
I'm curious if that means they're going to geo check you or if it means you've already checked into Epcot. Because I'm hearing some people say that you may be able to say you're going to like Beaches and Cream for lunch, but you already
Mhm.
were in Epcot. So I'd be curious to see if that is the case. Like you actually have to
So
physically.
here is my understanding of the way it works is that you have to have tapped your magic band or
Mhm.
your entrance into the park
Right.
before 1 p.m.
Right.
But you could tap in and leave the park and do it from outside the park. It's not that you have to physically be
Physically,
inside
yeah.
the park, but you have to have legitimately entered the park at least once before then.
That's what I
So
was thinking. That makes sense. Yeah.
you could, in theory, tap in the morning at Epcot, hop over. Well, no, you couldn't have. You could leave the park and go back to your hotel room.
Right.
Say,
If you're doing like pool, because your return
yeah,
time may be like 9 p.m. You know.
exactly,
So
exactly. Yeah. So if you are staying in the boardwalk area, yeah, that is absolutely an option to tap in and then come back out because it doesn't necessarily record that you left the park. It just knows that you were
right.
inside. Yeah.
Well, good
So
luck.
yeah,
You know.
wish me luck. So next up, summer just got awesome at Legoland Florida Resort because the Aw Summer celebration is gearing up with new family-friendly activities, exclusive character meet and greets, and special weekend events, and it's all starting on June 4th.
I have to say, I absolutely love the logo for this with watermelon that's brightly colored. Really
It's
great
such a
job. If you're
tearful watermelon.
Yes, so happy. So this is going to be running for 10 full weeks from June 4th through August 7th, and it's a full kid-centered fun weekend, and it's all included with your normal park admission. And this is going to happen on Saturdays and Sundays.
Yeah, and there's
So,
lots of different components to this.
yep.
Lego Friends Weekends is going to go on every Saturday and Sunday in June, and it brings together the Lego Friends, who are Stephanie, Olivia, Andrea, Emma, and Mia, of course. And you can help them crack the code to save Heart Lake City with a series of different meet and greets, activities. There's a movement class, an art class, and a treasure hunt. In addition
Ooh,
to that, Red, White, and Boom is back on July 2nd, 3rd, and 4th to celebrate Independence Day weekend with fireworks. And of course, they hand out those special glasses that turn all the fireworks into glowing Lego bricks.
yes, and
Um,
this is going to be a new one called Touch the Sky. So I'm curious if
mhm.
it's going to be kind of like reimagined or what to
Yeah.
expect, but it looks really cool. And there's going
And
to be a space day too, so that's fun. And it's going to be a cosmic takeover as Lego City celebrates the final frontier and space exploration. And this is exclusive to July 9th.
Yep, one day only event. There's going to be other events coming up. They're going to celebrate 90 years of Legos. They're going to have a school of spinjitzu if you are into the Lego Ninjago and learn how to be a ninja. And there are going to be edutainment events
Ooh,
for with Florida prepaid schoolhouse teachers in a scientific musical about reading and writing.
yes,
So
there's a
all
lot
this,
going
yeah, jam-packed summer at Legoland, and that's not even counting the new Peppa Pig park that's right next door. So lots of stuff to keep your kids occupied. Legoland.com is the place to go to find out more information about that. All right. We've talked plenty about Marvel. Well, Thor and Loki rides are opening at Drayton Manor theme park in the UK, but this is not the Marvel Thor and Loki superheroes. This is the OG Viking mythology
on.
gods, Thor and Loki. And this is all part of a brand new Viking themed area at Drayton Manor Resort.
Wow, and this just opened this weekend. So
Hmm.
guests will be transported to a bygone era full of unforgettable adventures inspired by mythical legends and ancient gods. And so this will include that new Thor coaster, and it is a disco coaster, they're saying. So it's going to spin riders in a giant wheel across a racing coaster track.
Yeah.
This
Have
looks
you
wild.
ever been on a disco? There's a bunch of these around the world.
Yes, I've been on one at Hershey Park, and
Uh-huh.
that's the
Yep.
one that just reopened to be reimagined to the Jolly Ranchers. So this looks
Ah,
kind
yeah.
of very similar.
Yeah. They've also got, speaking of Jolly Ranchers, a Nebula Z, which is a Zamperla. It's technically called a flat ride, but it's definitely not flat because it kind
No.
of puts you up in the air, spins you around, and yeah, one of these is recently been added to Hershey Park. And it's one of those rides that you look at it from outside the ride and you wonder, how do the cars not hit each other? Because they always seem like they're just about to hit each other as they go past. It's pretty neat to watch. But in addition to these two new attractions, they have also rethemed some existing attractions. They've rethemed their family favorite Buffalo Coaster as Jorgenburger. I'm totally butchering that.
That's perfect.
Vikings are going to come burn my house down for mispronouncing
Right. And
their
there's
names.
also a new restaurant, and they will be serving jacket potatoes, which
Yeah,
sounds delicious.
yeah. So apparently Viking food was barbecue, chicken wings, and jacket potatoes. So
Meat and
I
potatoes
I
kind of people.
I can get into that. I can get into that.
I'm down.
Yep. And if this sounds fun to you and you want to check it out, you can even extend your adventure overnight because they've got an on-site 4-star hotel with 10 brand new Viking themed rooms. So if you want to spend the night in traditional wooden furnishings with shields and I don't know, probably fur blankets on the bed, that's a possibility.
This is fully immersive.
Yes, absolutely. Take that, Galactic Star Cruiser. Okay, so the Anarchista theme park in Gatlinburg, Tennessee, has announced the Lumina Night Walk, which is a multimedia experience adding projections, lighting, and music at night to the park. They're calling this a first of its kind in the United States, and they're taking 80 acres of the park, which was previously undeveloped, and turning it into an outdoor multimedia journey of discovery, connecting the illuminating wonder of the stars to a world of imagination.
Yeah, this is really cool. Have you been to Anarchista?
I have not. In fact, from the way I just pronounced it, you can tell that I don't know anything about this park.
It is really cool. I wouldn't really call it a theme park. I'd say more an adventure park.
Hmm.
And it's really neat that to get there, you have to take a gondola up in the sky, and
Oh,
that's so it's kind of
okay.
atop a mountain. So it's on the
Hmm.
main strip in Gatlinburg, and then you pay an admission, and you get to take that little chairlift up to the top, and that's where the activities are. And then I believe that they're really expanding this because it just
Hmm.
opened, I would say maybe like 5 years ago. It's relatively young. They also added a moonshine bar up there, so
Ooh.
they're really trying to make it a kind of a destination. There's something similar here called Uber Gatlinburg that's been around for decades, but it's
Uh,
definitely dated. But it's like the same
hmm.
thing where you take a sky gondola up to the top of the mountain. But there's just so much land up there that they could
Hmm.
really, expand. So I'm excited about this new nighttime experience, and I'm sure they got other stuff in the works.
It sounds really well. It's going to open in fall of 2022,
Mhm.
and the thing that makes me hopeful for it is that it is being created in partnership with Moment Factory, which is a multimedia entertainment studio that's done a lot of great projection mapping and video stuff for the major theme parks. I just got to check out when I was in Las Vegas. They did a thing called Flyover, which is basically
Yeah.
Soarin' 3.0, and they did amazing video work on that. So this sounds like if you're in the Gatlinburg area, this is definitely something to put on your radar for this fall. And if you want some more information about it, including the date that tickets go on sale, you can go to Anarchista, that's ANAKEESTA.com. All right. Heading over to Texas, Electric Ocean Nighttime Party is lighting up SeaWorld San Antonio this summer from June 3rd through August 7th. They're going to have Electric Ocean concerts, extreme water ski stunt show, dance parties, and fun with the Sesame characters.
Ooh, this is really fun. It's similar to like we have Electric Ocean in Orlando, and it's going to be a party. They're going to take shows. There are going to be dance elements, and of course, the highlight are the free concerts on Saturdays.
Yeah,
And they have
they've
some
got.
really good people this year.
I guess these folks weren't busy at any Epcot concerts, so that
Yes.
they. But you got Vanilla Ice, Philip Phillips, Newsboys, Easton Corbin. Got a pretty good variety there. And
Yes.
as always, those concerts are free, though you can pay for upgraded up close seating. They've also got the Sesame Street Pals are going to be putting on the Sesame Street Party Parade, which has 10 floats and all of your favorite characters with high energy music. Plus, they are bringing back their Elmo Rocks show. So if you want to see Elmo in concert, that's a rockin' good time.
Yeah, that's really cool. And then there's going to be an all new show called Sea Lion and Otter Spotlight at Pacific Point Preserve. And here is where Dr. Pinniped presents a series of educational and humorous lessons about the species and roles they play in the world's ecosystem. So it's edutainment again. So you're getting
Exactly.
education, you're having fun. Maybe it'll inspire a future generation of animal conservationists and whatnot. So this is kind of a fun, family-friendly thing.
Yeah, we recently talked about how they retired their
Yes.
previous Sea Lion High show, just like Orlando did
Mhm.
not too long ago. And the new version of the show is very similar to what we have in Orlando. It's less on making the animals do goofy tricks and more about talking about their natural behaviors and environment. There's still a lot of fun. There's still a lot of splashing.
Mhm.
It's there's still jokes,
Yeah.
but they treat the animals with a little more respect now. I also would love to see this Hydropower Extreme FX high energy
Ooh.
water ski stunt show. It looks like they are using these hoverboard boots that Legoland in Florida uses in their stunt show, but getting to see these all lit up at night, I think that would be even more spectacular.
Right. This is like next level. I mean, I've
Mhm.
seen, during the day when people do this, it still looks wild because you're like,
Yeah,
how
yeah.
does this even happen? But at night, all lit up looks beautiful.
Yeah, yeah. And they've also got, which I think this is so much fun, a giant light bright. I don't know how many folks out there remember playing with light
Yes.
bright as a kid and pushing the little pins through the black paper and making pictures. Well, you can do that on a supersized level at SeaWorld. It's going to be located over near the game center, and so check that out. Probably wash your hands afterwards.
Oh, yes. But that looks really cool. That is childhood in one image.
Yep.
A light bright.
So you can check out all this at SeaWorld.com/San Antonio. And as always, Destinations with Character Travel can help you get there. And we are going to wrap up the news in the queue by thanking Ewan McGregor for bringing Obi-Wan Kenobi to Disney Plus, because the new series is out now, and the actor has been giving some interviews talking about what it's like coming back to the role after all of these years. We were talking about this in the little pre-show. There's not going to be any spoilers here because I have only watched episode 1 of Obi-Wan. Carly has not watched any of it yet, so we're not going to spoil anything. But what I've seen of it so far, I really loved, and it's great having Ewan McGregor back in the role.
Right. Totally iconic. Again, we won't spoil anything. I'm excited to watch this. This is probably one of the most exciting things for me in the Star Wars canon to come out recently.
Yeah, they really knocked it out of the park with all the Disney Plus shows, The Mandalorian and Book of Boba Fett. But this one, at least, from the bit I've seen, is even more cinematic. And they're filling in one of the few gaps that I'm really curious about in Star Wars timeline. A lot of times they seem to say, "Oh, we're going to fill in this backstory of this character," and I was like, I didn't really need that backstory.
Right.
But
No,
I,
this is an actor.
I've always been curious, like how he went from looking relatively healthy 30-something at the end of Revenge of the Sith to just 20 years later looking like he's aged 60 years out in the desert into Alec Guinness. And we're at least so far from this first episode, we get to see he's lived a really rough life out in the desert. I think if anything's going to age you hard, yeah.
Yes, he looks hard and weathered.
Yeah, exactly. But I don't want to read every quote here because there's a lot of good material. But if you go onto our website, there's this really good interview. Our Matt, our publisher, was able to go out to Star Wars Celebration, which is still going on right now. But got some really great material about basically, this is one of those two roles, this and Train Spotting, which also got a sequel, that Ewan McGregor said that he would come back and do this role again because it meant so much to him, and also talks a little bit reuniting with Hayden Christensen, who is back in the black suit as Darth Vader, coming back to the show too. So no, a lot of fans have been really excited about this. I know I was tempted to stay up until 4 a.m. on Friday to watch it, but just couldn't make it. My body just wouldn't let me.
I know. I've been guilty of that, especially when Hamilton came out on Disney Plus. So like,
yes.
But then also we got to mention the Disneyland characters. So still talking about Star Wars.
Oh, absolutely. Thank you for reminding me. So another big bomb that dropped at Star Wars Celebration is that after years of insisting that Batuu, Galaxy's Edge, is set very specifically in between episodes 8 and 9 and would only feature characters from that time period, guess what? Boba Fett and Fennec from the Book of Boba Fett are right now doing meet and greets in Black Spire Outpost. Now, they've been very careful to say that other characters in that area who are not from that same time period will not interact with them, will not recognize them. So if you run into Rey and ask her about Boba Fett standing over there, she'll be like, Boba Fett? What Boba Fett? I don't see any Boba Fett. Which that can get a little tricky. But I know, these are characters that are huge right now. And I bet there are lines around the galaxy to meet these folks right now. And it's only going to get worse because they say later this year, they're going to be joined by Mando and Grogu.
Yes.
Can you imagine what the wait times to meet Baby Yoda, especially if it's a screen accurate puppet that's articulated as well as the one in the show is? People aren't going to want to leave. Like, you're just going to be like, no, Baby Yoda is mine now.
Right. And it's just also, we chatted about this, but that area is very tight. If you've ever walked through, that's probably, a lot of Galaxy's Edge is spacious, but the Black Spire Outpost is tight. It is replicated of like a small marketplace. So it's small. So this should be very interesting.
I would definitely say this is going to be a work in progress. I'm sure that they are going to have to shift locations around and try different queuing methods to maintain this because, I'm from knowing the way things work, the people in operations probably got very little notice about this happening. They might have been almost as surprised as the fans at Celebration to find out. And they probably, didn't have weeks and weeks to plan all this out. So it should be interesting to see how it goes, at least in the short term. But I also, this is right now only in Disneyland. They have said that eventually we should see these characters in Walt Disney World. But a lot of things involving characters, especially characters that are on current TV shows, will come to California first because the costuming departments, all of the marketing departments for the TV, the broadcast operations are out there in California. And a lot of time, this stuff is being paid for by the marketing department of the studio, not necessarily the theme park itself. So that's why if you say be fair to Florida, that's why they get the stuff in Anaheim first a lot of times.
Right. And they also got the Life Day snacks, which were amazing.
Yes.
And it was some of the best snacks out of Galaxy's Edge that never came to Walt Disney World. So maybe,
hopefully next Life Day. Hopefully next day. All right. Well, if you aren't already into ObiWan Kenobi, you can sign up for Disney Plus and there's going to be a new episode dropping every Friday for the next 4 weeks. It's only 6 weeks, so maybe you wait till the last episode drops and get one of those free subscriptions. Cancel. Shh, don't tell them I said that. Don't tell them I said that. All right. Well, that brings us to the end of the news in the queue. Before we get into this week's main attraction, it's really important that we hear a very quick word from our sponsor.
Here at Destinations with Character Travel, we offer the best experience with your travels. Need to visit the thrilling Disneyland Resort, Walt Disney World? Maybe lounge about on a Disney cruise or any other major cruise line? No problem. So if you're looking for a stress and hassle-free vacation, visit us at www.destinationswithcharacter.com. Contact us today and let us plan a magical vacation for you and your family.
It's time for the main attraction!
All right, for this week's main attraction, Universal Orlando has opened yet another tribute store, and this one is finally themed after iconic 1980s movies and attractions. Universal has been knocking it out of the park recently with these tribute stores. They change them 3 or 4 times a year, and they are as elaborately decorated as any of their rides. And I know, fans, longtime fans of Universal Studios Florida we got a thing for Jaws and E.T. and Back to the Future,
Yes.
the rides and the movies we grew up with, and now you can step back into. It's not the same as having some of those attractions back, but it's probably the next best thing.
Absolutely. And this looks amazing. If you've been following along, it first went up that it was a movie theater. Then the attraction posters came outside, and now it's ready to go and looks absolutely incredible. Each room is themed after one of the 3 movies, and there's a ton of Easter eggs, little tributes for casual fans, hardcore fans. So this is absolutely incredible, and I can't wait to go see it.
Yeah. So the ET room is set up like it's Elliot's bedroom. It's got all the toys and games and stuff that you remember from the movie. The Jaws room is all full of nautical props, and they've got a retro Jaws merchandise. If you missed out on getting an Amity Boat Tours, shirt like the Jaws skippers used to wear, now you can finally get one. The one I'm most excited about is the Back to the Future room,
Yes.
which is all set up like Doc's garage. It's even got the giant speaker that blows Marty out at the beginning of the movie. I got to say, I have heard some disturbing things about over enthusiastic guests trying to take souvenirs out of here.
Oh.
I saw something on social media that Doc's pocket watch has already been stolen. I really hope that stuff's not true. Please, that's why we can't have nice things.
I was just going to say, this is why we can't have nice things. Please, we love these tribute stores, and they're so special because of all the detailing. So don't take something. Buy a shirt, because the merch is epically amazing. I think the Back to the Future merch is some of my favorite. Lots of cool colors going on. I mean, they really, really did a nice job, their merchandising team, with this. There's some great new stuff.
And there's also a final room, which is kind of themed to all the shows, all the rides overall, in kind of a nostalgic movie theater lobby, candy stand. But what I think is great is that they have kind of resurrected the old King Kong photo op. It's not the same hand, but it's a great tribute to that old photo op that used to be as you exited King Kong, where you could get a picture of you in his grip. And I even love that they've got that pink and blue stripes that used to be the color scheme on all of the soundstage buildings back in the day.
This is such incredible detailing. I love my pictures, like from the early 90s, of being a kid in the arm. I mean, it was I almost like loved that even more than the attraction, exiting and getting to do that. So this is really cool that they brought this here.
My first visit to Universal was, I think, in 91, and I worked there from 96 through 2000. So these, Jaws, Back to the Future, King Kong, they were all still in their heyday, and I used to take off on my lunch break and go into the park and ride those over and over again. So it's so great. It kind of warms my heart to see that there's
Right.
still love for those. We've got some mentions in the chat right here. I just want to say, Brian pointing out an Easter egg. There is a Halloween Horror Nights Slaughter Cinema Easter egg in one of the rooms. I'm going to have to keep an eye out for that.
And also, all the squirrel is in there.
And Brian also points out that now that the Monsters Cafe is closed, maybe some of those props could end up there. I would not be shocked to see some of those Monster Cafe props end up in Epic Universe over in the new park. But yeah, at least the monsters still have their tribute store next to the Mummy ride, which will still be there at least until the ride reopens later this summer.
Yeah, no, that's great. And also the food in there. I don't know if you saw it.
Oh my God. How did we not talk about the food?
Yes, it looks amazing. There's an ET basket cake. And so the basket is the cake, and then ET is like a chocolate thin shell almost, and it looks amazing. There's an at a time brownie that I saw that also looked delicious. And if you've had the snacks in the tribute store before, they are amazing. I mean, it's such an unassuming little thing, but I still think of the vegan skull brownie from
the
Halloween
vegan
Horror
brownie is one of the best vegan brownies I've ever had.
It is honestly amazing. I'm not a vegan. I love meat. It is so good. I don't know how they do it.
Yeah, amazing. So yeah, this tribute store should be there through the summer, and then I can guess that by late, maybe early August, we should see that switching over to a Halloween tribute store, most likely. So I just want to give a shout out to this is the visual merchandising department. A lot of people think these are done by the art and design or the creative folks who build the haunted houses or who build the rides, and it's actually a department that is specifically for the stores, and they do artwork, they do design work that is every bit as good as the folks who get famous for building the ride. So bravo to them for another great job.
Yes, this is incredible, and thank you, Universal, for letting us tap into our nostalgia. That is what we want, fans.
Please keep milking us, keep pandering us. We like fan service. We'll spend money. Yep. We shouldn't give them ideas, should we?
No.
All right. Well, we have somehow come to the end of yet another podcast. I miss doing this. I'm so glad to be back. And I'll be back next week. Will you be back next week? Well, I'll be back next week.
I will be here.
We should probably talk about, are we going to go back to our usual Saturday schedule for everyone who's listening live? Or stick with Sundays?
Yeah.
We'll have. Okay. All right. Well, we'll chat about it offline, and we will definitely see everyone next weekend. But before we go, first, I want to thank one more time our sponsor, Destination with Character Travel. And please, just want to remind everyone to go and give us a review on Apple Podcasts, and please leave us a rating on Spotify. It really helps get the word out. And of course, if you want more from us and Attractions Magazine on the interwebs during the week, you can find me at the UG Series on Twitter, at the Unofficial Guides on Instagram, and at theunofficialguides.com, where you can buy copies of my books. Carly, where can everyone find you?
Yes, I am on Twitter at Carly Caramana, and on Instagram, Adventures by Carly.
Awesome. And of course, if you want more from the whole Attractions team, attractionsmagazine.com, at Attractions on Twitter, at Attractions Magazine on Instagram, and youtube.com/attractions, where you can find us each and every day. Until next week, I hope everyone stays safe. Please try something new, but most importantly, have fun, and we will see you next time.
Yes, see you guys next week.